You gotta leave them behind. But first, what's up, beautiful people? It's your favorite cousin Rich, back once again. Hope y'all having a magnificent day. I am as well. Now let's begin. You gotta leave them behind. Who? Who is the you got them? Well, who is the got them? Well, who is the them, I should say. Them. Anybody who's not good for your highest vibration. Anybody who's not good for your highest frequency. Anybody who's not good for your highest self. And it's not just people. It could be places or environments, things, ideas, ideologies. Anything that's not good for your what? Highest being, highest person, who you really and truly are supposed to be. You gotta leave them behind. You can't take them with you. They're not going to be useful in this next chapter, this next phase of your life. These things might have been useful to get you to where you are now, or these things might have just been here to where you get to now, to where you got to now. But in order for you to get to this next chapter that God has planned for you, you got to leave them behind. Or else your life will be the way it is now. The same energy that you're in now is the one that you'll be in for the rest of your life. The same results that you're getting now are the same results that you'll be getting for the rest of your life if you don't leave these things behind in the past. See, once you have your spiritual awakening, that's when everything changes. Beforehand, certain things might have been working for you. Certain thoughts, certain ideologies, certain mindsets might have worked for you, no problem. Certain thought patterns, certain people might have worked for you. Might have worked, might not have been that harmful to have or be around. But once your eyes opened up and you had your spiritual awakening, these same things that got you to this point are no longer going to be able to get you to where you need to go. You know that phrase, if you know better, you do better? It's the same thing. Once you have your spiritual awakening, you know better. And things are not going to change, things are not going to move, things are not going to shift unless you what? Do better. And you really analyze and you really sit down, the reason why we don't want to leave these things alone, these people, these thoughts, these ideologies, whatever, the reason why we don't want to leave them alone is because we find comfort in them. Even if the comfort is not beneficial, we find comfort in them. It's just like when you're sleeping in the morning and it's time for you to get up. When that alarm is going off, it's time for you to get up and get active. You got to get up. But when you were a baby, you didn't have an alarm. You could just stay asleep. And it was beneficial for you. Why? Because you were growing, right? When you're older, that alarm goes off. You can't stay in the bed. You got to get up. You got to get active. So the same things that were good for you when you were a baby are going to be harmful for you as you're older. Like I said, when that alarm goes off and it's time for you to get up, you don't get up, guess what? Now you can't go to work. You can't go to work, you can't eat. So it's the same thing. When you grow and you elevate, you have to tackle life different. You have to have new things around you, new environments, new ideologies. In order to support this growth that is happening. If you make $1 million, you can't kick it with the same people that you used to. You have to have new people in. This don't mean that you disassociate or, you just leave the friends behind. I'm not necessarily saying that. But what I'm saying is if you want to manage and properly maintain this $1 million, the best way possible is to surround yourself in certain environments, surround yourself with certain people, surround yourself with new ideologies and new thoughts and new processes in order to maintain this $1 million. So if you underwent a spiritual awakening, or you're undergoing a spiritual awakening right now, you can't stay with the same people that are asleep. You can't ask advice from the same people that were asleep. It's not going to be beneficial for you. It's not going to be beneficial to you. They're not going to understand. They're not going to comprehend. You're on two different levels. You're on two different frequencies. The advice that they may be giving you might have served the old you and the old situations that you were in, but the new you needs to be asking somebody different. The new you needs to surround yourself in new environments that's going to be beneficial for your growth. It's just like when you plant, when you have a little seed for a flower or something, right? Because I like flowers, all kind of flowers. But I like flowers for real. And them other flowers. But anyway, that's besides the point. When you have a little seed and you plant it, when that seed starts to grow and the roots start to take place, you don't put it in a giant pot. You put it in a little pot, or you put it in a cup. So it's easily manageable. And then when it starts to sprout, you take that little seed with the roots, and what do? You put it in a bigger pot. And then if it outgrows that pot, or if it's becoming to outgrow that pot, what do? You put it in a bigger pot. You put it in a bigger pot. And then you put it in the ground, or whatever the case may be. You can't keep that seed from the start to the finish in that same little pot. You can't do it. Guess what? It's going to overgrow. It's going to die. It's the same thing with you, chosen one. The same thing with you, earth angels. The same thing with you, star seeds. Once you open up, once you have your spiritual awakening, you start growing. You can't be in the same environments. You can't be around the same people. You can't have the same thought processes as you once did. You're not going to be able to what? Grow properly. That's why you got to what? Leave them behind. Got to leave them behind. But this doesn't mean that you're going to change it to a square, a L7, a lame, nothing like that. This doesn't mean that your old identity is necessarily just going to shed and you're going to be this new person, No. This new person that you're coming into might be better. This new person that you're coming into might be the person that you always wanted to be, but you were scared to be because you didn't know how it was going to happen. You didn't know how it was going to come about. This new person that you're coming to be is the one that's really going to change the world. So don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of your comfort zone, because you're going to find new comfort zones into this new person that you're becoming. Like I always say, sometimes you're comfortable in this Honda, but the universe trying to put you in this Benz. Don't be so comfortable in this Honda that when it's time for you to grow so you can get that Benz, that you don't do it. I try to tell people a lot of times, logic and spirituality don't go hand in hand. People don't understand sometimes how you have to leave certain people behind and certain things behind until blessings vanish, until you're not able to grow anymore, until those same people hold you down and drown you. And sometimes it's not even to their own doing. What's good? Sometimes it's not to their own doing. Sometimes they do it unconsciously. Why? Because they're not spiritually woke yet. So they're not even conscious or cognitive of what they're doing. They're just doing it. That's why you got to separate. Like I said, this don't mean that you hate these people. This don't mean that you necessarily better than these people or anything like that. It was just your time to grow. That's all. Embrace it. It's beautiful. Like I said, you got a seed. You don't want that seed to stay in that little pot and just the seed forever. That seed going to grow. It's going to become a beautiful flower. And then you're going to have to take it and put it in a different pot. And then you're going to embrace it even more. And then that seed is going to embrace that pot even more. And it's going to grow even more. And then you take care of it even more. And it's going to grow some more. It's going to give you more and more and more. And it's the same thing with you. Don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid of leaving things in the past. Especially if they're not beneficial to your highest being, your highest good, for your growth, for your spiritual journey. Anyway, about to log off, about to sign off, whatever case. Hope this message could help somebody today. It's your favorite cousin. Y'all be safe. Love and blessings.